Hello and welcome to In the Studio with Donny Carr. This is episode number 27. I have a very exciting video today. I want to show you how to do a macro within FL Studio, not just a simple macro with multiple parameters linked to one slider or knob or whatever you wanted to use. But I want to show you how to do minimum and maximum values for each parameter. Because 99.9% of the time you want to fine tune your, say, your delay or your reverb. If you're linking multiple things, you want to fine tune those to fit within the sweet spot. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's get right to it. We will be using a stab here as an example. And we'll be using the EP34 tape echo to make a macro for this. So what I'm thinking here is I want to macro, I want to set up a parameter and link the repeats here to go up, as well as the echo volume. And as these two are increasing, I want to decrease the bass, and I want to control that with just one knob. So what we need is the formula controller. Let's pull it up. All right. Now, this is the basic default formula is not going to work. We need to input a special one here. So I have mine saved as min and max values. It's a plus b star parentheses b minus a closed parentheses. So save that, pause the video and write that down, or save it as a preset because it's very useful. And all right, so now we're ready to go here. So let's start linking our controllers. So let's start with the repeats. We'll just hit this drop down and browse parameters, repeats, there it is. Let's right click it, link to controller, and we're going to select the formula controller out that's on the stab. Hit accept. All right, now let's do this one. Browse parameters, echo volume. We're going to link that controller, formula controller out, and hit accept. All right, see if we got some action here. See there, you got some action, but I'll show you how to fine tune these. Now we want to have as these go up, we want the bass to go down. So let's do the same thing. Browse parameters. We want the bass. Let's right click it, link to controller. Now on this one, same formula controller out, but we want the mapping to be inverted, and I only want it at 0.5. Or I want it to start in the middle. All right, there we go. So I find it's easiest to set this up if you want. C is going to be where things are going to end up at its maximum, and then you can control the min and max values with A and B. So let's say I want the echoes to be not quite halfway, because once it goes halfway on this guy, it starts to like self-oscillate. It could get really crazy really fast. So I want it about right there. And let's bring this down, and I want the minimum values about here. Yeah, so I want the bass a little bit cut, and I want probably bring this up a little bit. Yeah, something like that. Now let's take this a little bit further. So I mean that's your basic macro there with minimum maximum values. But you can also use another formula controller and say link that up to a couple parameters on a reverb, and then link both of the C outputs on the formula controllers to one single control surface, which can make like automation so much easier. So let's do that. I'll show you how to do that. So let's maybe automate this guy here. Let's send it to this reverb. So let's automate the send level as well. or link it to the controller. Let's link that to controller, and we're going to use the stab. Boom. So nice. So now we have the echoes going and the reverb as well. But on that reverb, let's set up another formula controller and take this a little bit further. So let's set up the formula controller, excuse me. And let's take that one away. We're going to use this one now. Where are you? Hiding behind him. All right. So now on this one, what I want to do is pull up the reverb here. I'm using the Valhalla Vintage verb. Let's see. Let's get the right preset and max values. There we go. Now let's automate or link up the decay time, and as well we'll do the same thing that we did on the EP34, and we'll link it to the low cut as well. All right, so browse parameters, and we want the decay time. So let's link to controller, and this one we want to make sure that we select the room reverb out. Hit accept, and then we'll do the same thing for the low cut, just so that that'll keep things from getting too out of control and muddy. All right, so browse parameters, and we want the low cut. There it is. Right click it, link to controller. Boom. Formula controller out. Bada bing, bada boom. Now we can set our values here. Say something like that. So pretty short. Let's see here. We'll bring that up a little bit. That will work. So now what we want to do is link both of the outputs of both the formula controllers to the one macro that's on the stab. So let's do that really quick. So let's link to controller, and this is going to be our surface controller, the echo macro I showed you earlier. Boom. We'll hop back over to our stab. Formula controller here, same deal. Link to controller, and we'll be selecting the echo macro. Bada bing, bada boom. Now we have this one single macro for all these parameters, and we can just automate this one thing for this stab. There. So useful, I think. I mean, I don't do this all the time, but sometimes I do. Sometimes I just kind of like to, you know, program everything beforehand and just make automation life so simple. Or you can use that to jam around and get some automate or arrangement ideas. It's just a nifty little thing to know within FL Studio. So leave me a comment, leave me a question. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll see you soon. Take care.